Good morning. So I did not trade at all last week because I was out of town on a ski trip in Vermont, but I will be back, I believe, every day this week and probably for a while. So I think I'm kind of done with vacations for a little while. I think I have one thing that I'll be doing in April, but for the most part, I'm back for a little bit. We do have a news event at 10 o'clock a.m. and that's a high volatility news event. Checking out the ES, looks like the uptrend here has a break a new high, downtrend has a break a new low, and then you have this kind of medium term uptrend, might have a slight overshoot, then you get this kind of extended downtrend right here. It does not have a break a new low, so right now I'm looking for a possible failed second entry short. I'm not interested in taking this higher low right here because it just looks like one leg back and then a higher low. So definitely not interested in that, but I might be interested in taking the failed second entry, assuming that sets up on the ES. On NQ, we have an uptrend with a break a new high, downtrend break a new low, so very similar to the ES. Then you have this uptrend right here that gets a break. The short-term downtrend has a break a new low. And then you do get a higher low, but the higher low is a little bit too far from the EMA. Yes, technically it's really, really close to touching the EMA, but if you look at the body, it looks like the bar is on stilts and it's closing pretty far from the EMA. So I don't want to take that higher low. It's also moved pretty far. So again, I might consider taking a failed second entry. Now looking at RTY, you have a short-term downtrend that has a break a new low. And then technically I think you could draw, some sort of trends like this, and that could be correct. Uptrend has a break a new high. But then you kind of go into just kind of like a choppy area. So I'm not really dying to draw any kind of trends here. Just kind of pick back up here where it has an uptrend with close outside new high, then downtrend that we're expecting a possible break a new low of. Technically you have a first entry, second entry already, but this looks like a double bottom. So I would consider looking for a first entry, second entry short, looking for prices to test this low here of the downtrend. So assuming this bar ends bullish right here, assuming that ends bullish, and then you did get a bearish bar kind of rejecting off the EMA again, then I think that could be a possible good entry there. Looking at gold, so GC, there's kind of a lot of price action in the overnight, which there typically is. So just kind of zooming in here, you get a uptrend has a break and a new high. So uptrend has a break in two legs to a new high, basically perfect. Downtrend has a slight overshoot, leads to a break. And you can see this break even has a close outside a new high there. And then you get two legs down to a new low, so that's perfect. Uptrend has a break with two legs, and then a break in a new high of that uptrend. It's looking like there could be some resistance up around this area. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw that there just in case, because prices are rejecting off that. And I believe there could be some sort of range potentially. And you could see potentially something like this being correct. But for now, that's what we got. There's not really much to do there. It's just kind of looking more and more range-like. YM kind of starts in the overnight, looks like a range. You have a downtrend right here that has a close outside and a couple attempts at a new low, doesn't quite make it. And then just kind of, again, like just looks like a range for the most part. Uptrend, break, new high, downtrend, break, new low. Now you have another uptrend right here that's kind of working higher. So not much to it. So I'm considering taking a possible second entry long here, because you are technically looking for a break new high of this uptrend, which I think could just be a little bit tighter, actually. It's probably something like this. But the thing about this one is you don't really want to draw a short-term trend like this because it just doesn't look quite right. So it's really probably like this. And I don't really want to go against that. So it looks like we have a break in new low on ES, and I'm still expecting prices to most likely retest this high unless we get a really strong push down. And it's kind of hard to tell what's going on GC right now. Pretty much everything's played out and just kind of waiting until something a little bit more clear. YM downtrend has a break in new low here. And prices aren't really going up to retest this high, so again, similar to GC, it's just kind of a transition period, and there's nothing really super clear that I'm looking for. I'm still expecting a new high on this uptrend for the ES. I'm going to get a strong push through the EMA. So looking for possibly some sort of second entry long. If prices were to pull back, create two legs back, then that's what I'd be looking for there. That's a more convincing break in new high. So this is probably most likely just two larger legs back. You can see one, two, basically two legs back right there. So prices are continuing up on GC, so there basically has to be some sort of wider uptrend. Something like that doesn't seem quite right. I don't see anything that feels quite right. Other than maybe something like this, but I don't think that would be good, so I'm just gonna hold off. And getting a possible second entry long setup on the ES. Short-term downtrend has a break, expecting a new low for the short-term downtrend. If you do get a good signal bar off the EMA to create a second entry long, then I would definitely be interested in that. All right, so not a good signal bar, but if this next one is a good signal bar, there's a good chance I'll be interested in taking that. Still expecting a break a new high for this uptrend. This downtrend has played out. There's not really a new low, but it's close enough to basically a double bottom, so that counts. And then you get this spike right here, so expecting a break a new high for the spike and a break a new high for this channel right here. And it's looking like a short-term downtrend has a break a new low, creating a second entry long, potential second entry long off the EMA. Price is pushing pretty strongly through the EMA, so unlikely that's going to set up how I was thinking that it might. Still marching higher on GC. All right, so this is really just kind of looking range-like now, with prices pushing repeatedly up and down through the EMA. So I'm definitely not so much expecting this break a new high anymore. For now, it's a new low, but it easily could be a slightly wider downtrend like this. It's actually what I'm going to change it to on the incur. Okay, interesting. I think we might be able to draw some sort of uptrend on YM. This downtrend never got to break a new low. Unsure if that's correct, but it could be. Yes, let's get rid of that range. So that was really the, looks like this was the attempt at the break a new high for this uptrend. It appears that has failed. Let's go ahead and draw a little bit wider of a downtrend there too. Uncertain if that's correct. Extend that out. So I'm looking for shorts on NQ for sure. GC could see some potential long here. basically right now I'm pretty confident in the downtrend on ES and NQ. So this downtrend and then the one on NQ, I'm pretty confident. So assuming there's a good setup to the short side, I would be pretty interested in that. On RTY, it's a little bit less certain. I mean, it kind of looked like prices were in a bit of a range. Pretty much everything's been playing out super early. I think that there could be some sort of larger downtrend, but at this point, it's not really clear. So I'm sticking with the tighter one for the time being. So I'm sticking with this one for the time being. But the thing is this break and new low, this leg is pretty strong and it's bigger than this initial trend right here. So I'm leaning towards there being a larger trend. So let's actually go ahead and widen that and go ahead and anticipate that this could be a wider trend here. On GC, so initially I was thinking that we were gonna move towards a breaking new high of this trend, but as prices are continuing down here, we get this really, really strong spike down. So there's nothing that's super, super clear on GC right now. I don't know, just looking at it, it's just not super clear. You could maybe say that maybe it's just a trend like this, but just overall, it's really hard to determine exactly what's going on GC. It made sense back here, but then now we're just kind of flying around and it's hard to tell. And then YM, so I was looking at this possible uptrend. I'm thinking that's maybe not correct now. It still kind of fits okay. So maybe we'll head towards a breaking new high of this. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not super confident in this uptrend right here. But definitely I would be willing to take a short on the ES or the NQ. Assuming there's a good setup. And there's a news event at 10, so I need to be careful not to take any trades too close to that. I think it's ISM manufacturing PMI, or I don't know if that's right, but we'll see. It doesn't really matter what news event it is. I know it's high volatility. Potential lower high after second entry. You do have a first entry, second entry, could get a lower high off the EMA that I would consider. Here you have a first entry, so same sort of deal. You could get a lower high, but there we go. You just went ahead and headed towards the break new low and no entry there. So it's unfortunate. It's the same with the NQ, so no entry there. There's nothing I'm really interested in right now. Yes, this downtrend's played out, incur downtrend's played out. So assuming prices do continue to reject off the EMA, I'll consider starting looking for shorts again. But that's not really the case right now. RTY, this downtrend is looking like it's probably not correct. I mean, it could be. Maybe you could say, well, it's like that. But this just doesn't look quite right to me. So I'm gonna, I don't know, that doesn't look right either. It could be a little bit wider, maybe. We'll have to see if prices turn down here or not. But not dying to do anything on RTY. GC is very confusing, to be honest. Uptrend played out, great. Downtrend, I mean, pretty much everything made sense up until that strong push up. And that's where I'm sort of confused. I think that there's a chance that you head towards a break a new low of this spike down. You do have a first entry, second entry. I guess it's technically a lower high after a second entry. It's also a first entry, second entry failure. So I think that there's maybe some merit to taking this one, but it's just a little bit too uncertain, and we're pushing through the EMA repeatedly, so it just gets kind of confusing. Okay, there's the 9:55 alarm right there that I set earlier. So there's a news event in just a few minutes, so I kind of want to hold off on doing anything as far as like trades go anyway. It's looking less and less like this uptrend is correct on the YM. I was a little bit uncertain about it anyways. Could be some sort of range. We'll see. It does look like two legs back, so it does look like you have two kind of broader legs back right here. So prices still could retest this high here, but overall, just nothing super certain on the GC or YM. Gonna go ahead and draw this wider downtrend just in case. Prices are continuing down here, even though there's this break in, even though there's a break in new low of that initial downtrend, prices are continuing to reject off the EMA. So there's definitely the possibility of a wider downtrend here. And that's the same with the incur. So gonna go ahead and at least think about that possibly being correct. And here we go on the RTY. Looks like we might have a touch off this trend line here. So that could be correct. So definitely considering shorts on ES, incur, and RTY. GC is still very uncertain. YM also still pretty uncertain. And someone in the chat, I think last week, was asking, well, you know, like how do you watch so many charts, and like does it get confusing? Not really, because a lot of them just aren't really doing anything interesting, or at least nothing that I would be interested in taking a trade all at the same time. So like the ES, you know, like there's maybe a potential trade on the ES, there's maybe a potential trade on the incur, and possibly on the RTY, but there's really nothing on GC that I'm super interested in right now. Same with the YM. So it's kind of like, you know, even though I'm watching all these charts, most of them aren't, I'm not like really actively engaged in looking for a trade on all of them at the same time. Okay, so I'm definitely leaning towards some sort of larger trend here. Go ahead and get rid of all these and just deal with this larger trend. We'll see how prices react down here at the lows. Same with the incur, leaning towards larger trend. I don't like all this empty space here though. Don't love that at all. And I like how this trend fits on the RTY. I think that's solid. You see, it does look like we're headed towards the break a new low for this downtrend. Let's go ahead and ditch this uptrend here on the YM and just kind of figure out what's going on here. So downtrend, break new low. It's fine. It looks like it really could just be some sort of range. Let's go ahead and adjust. So it looks like this could just be some sort of range because everything's a little bit uncertain there. Definitely not sure about that range either. Could be a possible slight overshoot there, but I don't really think so. It doesn't look like a very climactic overshoot. All right, there's the news event. Obviously getting some volatility pickup there. Clear overshoot, very clear overshoot. It's the same with the NQ. Let's go ahead and get that on there. Overshoot here too. Of course, there's a possibility that this ends up being wider. So I think that could be wider there, but for now, just treat it as an overshoot. We do have the break in new low on that downtrend. So that's played out. Definitely makes me think, okay, well, just trying to figure out exactly what was happening here. Maybe I don't like that. I don't like that uptrend, but it could be correct. Just not enough touches there. It would kind of explain what happened though. Anyway, I'll just stick with this for now. That's very, very strong. So let's go ahead and get rid of this range. Let's just deal with this as a daily sort of range right there. And I think that's fine for now. So don't want to take any shorts on ES, considering the possible overshoot there. Same with the NQ. Just need to be careful as prices pull back here because there could just be a strong pullback in the opposite direction. Same with RTY. So I don't want to take the next second entry because you have a possible overshoot. So it would be tempting to take this first entry, second entry off the EMA. But because you had that overshoot, also to break below the overnight low right there, I'm just not interested in taking that, even if there is a good signal bar. So it's not really a great signal bar, not something that I'm super interested in anyway. But given the fact that there's that overshoot, I don't want to take that. If you do get a lower high, maybe I'll consider. That's the same with the ES here. You do have a first entry, break higher, second entry. So this would be a lower high. I would consider a failed second entry if prices continue to hold the EMA, in which case maybe I'll go ahead and extend this downtrend out. But for now, it's not really what I'm looking for. You kind of have two larger legs back on YM and a possibility to look for a break a new low for this downtrend. So that's kind of tempting. I don't really want to take just the two larger legs back, but if you did get a lower high, then maybe I'd be interested there. No good signal bar anyway. And here, to me, this looks like this uptrend just got to break a new high. So if we draw this out here, then I'd say that just had a, oops, I'd say this just played out. And got to see how prices are going to react at the trend line on both these. So, new high there. Same with RGY, pretty similar on all of these. Again, I would consider a possible lower high on YM. I don't think it's like perfectly clear exactly what was happening, but I think that you can clearly see there's a spike down, possible downtrend that needs to break a new low. Two clear legs back. Let's see, 1, 2 legs back. So if you did get a lower high and a good signal bar below the EMA, then I might be interested. And looking to see if this is actually a true overshoot or not. Could very well just get a nice lower high or something there. All right, so it's looking like that is probably truly an overshoot, at least on RTY. So I'm gonna leave this downtrend as is for now. Still might get a break a new low for the downtrend. You still do have this break a new high for the correction up there. Looks like it's holding on the ES, at least for now. Okay, so continuing to be very confusing on the YM. Go ahead and pull this in. Say it is an overshoot. There's even a potential to have a wider uptrend maybe. So I wouldn't be comfortable taking a lower high at this point, but I might be comfortable taking a failed second entry long or a second entry short on the ES. Same with the NQ. It's not like a super clear 2 legs back, so I kind of want a failed second entry or a whole separate second entry short there. I think that's the same on the RTY, so very, very similar structure on all of these. The ES through the RTY. I'll just be on for about 20 more minutes. Now that we're pushing back above the EMA on the NQ and the ES, I believe the RTY as well, I'm not really looking for a short because it's just not, it's not as likely that prices are going to retest this low. So this overshoot might just be causing a full-blown reversal. have to consider there might be a larger uptrend in play. It's looking pretty unlikely that I'll be taking a trade in the next 10 minutes that I'll be on. It's just nothing that looks particularly close. And this might actually even be a break a new low instead of an overshoot. Now that I think about it, it's actually maybe more likely. I like that a little bit better. Just looking to see if it makes more sense for these to be a break and new low as well. Like this one, like on the NQ, this probably makes more sense for this to not be an overshoot and instead just be a break and new low of this downtrend, like 2 legs down. I probably should have been able to find this uptrend a little bit sooner. It's looking like it probably is correct. I probably should have at least started considering it after there's this touch here. I don't know if it's correct, but I should have probably been considering it earlier. I think I only started looking at it around this point right here. And definitely after this touch right here, after prices pushed up again. I should have probably seen that. Looks like there could be an overshoot on GC, assuming this uptrend is correct. Could be an overshoot here. That'll do it for me today, though. Go and check the chat here. I'll stick around for a minute or two in case anybody has any questions or comments or anything. But that's really it for me as far as trading goes. I've been stopping at 10:30 a.m. That's part of why I've been trading the 5 charts instead of just the ES like I was trading. I was trading just the ES for a while. And I basically decided that I didn't want to have to trade for 3 hours a day or whatever, 3.5 hours a day. So I was trying to look at different ways that I could possibly do that. And one way was by trading more charts for just an hour a day. So I'm seeing actually more bars than I would typically see whenever I was just trading the ES for 3 hours, even though I am trading just an hour, hour and a half or whatever it is. So I'm seeing just the same amount of bars, if not more. That's basically the reason why I was doing that. But that still doesn't mean that I'm taking a trade every day. Anyways, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.